Hello and welcome to biology class. We are studying topic kingdom Animalia, and in this topic so far we have studied several phylums and their characteristics as well as their examples. So in today's video we are going to study next phylum, that is Phylum Mollusca. Now when we consider Phylum Mollusca, it includes very familiar animal to us. First of all, this include this animal called as sepia. Now this particular animal is very common in the Indian Ocean, okay? And another basically familiar animal called as octopus is also included in the mollusca. Now let us see some more examples and try to understand the characteristic of this phylum. Now another examples include snail, the everyday snail which is walking on the plant, walking on the trees, it is included in mollusca. Then bivalves. Okay, bivalves are also included in mollusca. Now this is a photograph of a special bivalve called as varanid bivalve. Okay, and this photograph is from the bivalve culture. They are considered as tastiest bivalve. Now another example is these shells which we collect on the seashore. These are basically animal shell, remember, and these animals are also included in the mollusca, and this is a shell of a very beautiful molluscan called as charoid mollusca or charoid shell. Now let us try to understand characteristic of mollusca by taking these examples. Now I'll write one by one characteristic and we will discuss about it. Now first characteristic of mollusca is they are always soft bodied animals. So this is the most important characteristic of mollusca. They are soft bodied animals. Now when we see octopus, soft bodied, when we see sepia, soft bodied, even snail is a soft bodied animal, just it is having this shell. Now another also, this bivalve also inside their body is very soft. Even in these shells there is an animal which is also soft bodied animal. So all the molluscans are soft bodied animals. This is a very specific characteristic. Then second characteristic is that initially all of them are bilaterally symmetrical. All of them are bilaterally symmetrical. Now one more characteristic I'll write and then we will discuss about exceptions. Initially all of them are bilaterally symmetrical, but snail, like we can see here, snail which is asymmetric. So we will discuss more about it after some time. But let me write third characteristic. They show tube within tube body plan. They are having tube within tube body plan. Now by taking these two characteristics, let us talk about some exceptions. Now, I am saying all the animals are bilaterally symmetrical, but here we can see bivalves look like bilaterally symmetrical. Octopus is also show by radial symmetry. Sepia also look like bilaterally symmetrical. But what about this snail? What about this animal? This shell? They doesn't look like bilaterally symmetrical, correct? Now what is tube within tube body plan? One end mouth and another end anus. So these animals are having such a different shape, so it is difficult to imagine at one end of their body they are having mouth and another end they are having anus. So let us try to understand the exceptions. Now snail and these different shells are coming under a special class in Phylum Mollusca called as gastropoda. These are special animals come under gastropoda. Now, what is the speciality of this gastropoda? Try to understand the speciality of it. Now, these animals during their development, gastropoda undergo a special process, okay, called as torsion. What the special process called as? Torsion. Now, torsion literally means body twisting. What does it mean? Body twisting. So, what happens in these animals? When they are undergoing development, their body get twisted, okay? So after twisting body, it can fit in this circular shell, understanding? So to fit the body inside the shell, they need to undergo torsion. And during this process, during the twisting of the body, during this torsion process, the digestive system become U-shaped. Means here mouth and another end anus. Understanding? So this animal, it is having somewhere here it will be having mouth and somewhere here it will be having anus. Understanding? Now another thing is that so this process of torsion, this process of twisting of body make the body asymmetric. So this snail become asymmetric because of twisting, because of torsion. This shell become asymmetric because of torsion. Understanding? Clear about it? Now torsion make a lot of changes in their body. Now let us go to the next characteristic. Now fourth characteristic is that these are triploblastic animals. I am not writing this simple characteristic. We'll just study more complex characteristic. Now they are triploblastic animals and even they are coelomate. They are true coelomate. But more specifically they are hemocoelomate. What they are? Hemocoelomate. Now 2 times we have discussed hemocoelomate. Now you should know what is hemocoelomate. Now tell me what is hemocoelomate? What is hemocoelomate? The body cavity, coelom or also pseudocoelom, it is either or actually. There is lot of confusion whether it is true coelom or pseudocoelom, but let it be. So this body cavity is basically filled with body fluid called as hemocoel. So body cavity is called as hemocoel and it is filled with fluid called as hemolymph. Now here in arthropoda we have already studied hemolymph, correct? So in arthropoda hemolymph don't have any color, but here hemolymph is blue color. In mollusca hemolymph is blue color. So simply speaking their blood is blue colored blood, and this blue color is because of presence of special pigments called as hemocyanin. What the special pigments called as? Hemocyanin. Understanding? Hemocyanin is the pigment present in the body fluid, present in the hemolymph, and this hemocyanin give their blood a blue color because cyanin means copper. It is a copper containing. It is a copper containing compound. Understanding? And copper is having blue color. Now next thing, let us shift to the next characteristic. Now next characteristic when we consider, it is having special body structure. Now when we consider this animal, its body is divided into 3 parts. Now in snail it is clearly we can understand. One part is this head. One part is what? Head. Another part here which is inside, okay, here, which is called as the, this part middle is nothing but visceral mass. Visceral mass. Writing over here visceral mass. And here which is touching to the ground, it is nothing but foot. So body is basically divided into 3 parts: head, visceral mass and foot. Understanding? Now clearly its function are very easy and very clear. Head, obviously sense organs are located here. In snail antenna we can see, as well as eyes are located in the head region. When we consider foot, it helps in locomotion. Now when we consider this octopus, its foot is modified into tentacles. Foot is only modified into tentacles. Okay. When we consider this sepia, here foot is modified over here as well as over here. So it is in tentacles as well as this swimming structure. And this is its visceral mass. Here it is located from downside, actually from ventral side, and here it is head region. Understanding? Here it is the head region of octopus. Here it is its visceral mass, and it is the foot which is modified into tentacles. Clear about it? Now let us consider some more things about its body parts. Now foot is modified for the locomotion as well as in the tentacles, head region with sense organ, and visceral mass is with digestive system, circulatory system, everything is located into visceral mass. Now another very important thing in these animals. Now this visceral mass basically secrete one one gelatinous substance, okay, inside it, okay. So this gelatinous substance give protection to the digestive system, protection to the visceral mass, okay, and little bit outside it is having little bit outside to the visceral mass, it is having one cavity. Now in these animals it is difficult to locate that cavity, but in bivalves this cavity could be easily seen, okay. So inside the bivalve, okay, there is a visceral mass over here somewhere, and here just outside the visceral mass there is a cavity called as mental, okay. Now this mental is basically a very important structure in case of molluscans, because mental, see what does it called as? Mental. Now this mental is very important because mental is the location of gills. Basically gills of the animals are located into that mental. Basically mental cavity secrete calcium carbonate and it form that shell which is covering the animal, okay. So shell is basically secreted by the mental cavity. Remember, I am revising these particular characteristics which we have studied just now. Body is divided into 3 parts. See, if you want, I'll write over here. Body, 3 parts. 3 parts. Okay, which are those? Tell me which are those? Head, foot, and visceral mass. Visceral mass. Now this visceral mass secrete mental, and inside the mental gills are located, and mental secrete covering, that is shell, body shell. Body shell. Now this shell is either outside the body, like in bivalve, like in snail, or like in this shell, or sometime it is even inside. In this sepia, the shell is located inside, on its dorsal side, on its back, just beneath the skin, a shell is located. Understanding? Now, next thing you need to understand over here is that now these animals are basically staying in an aquatic environment. So excretory system is ammonotelic, means they excrete ammonia. Now when they are excreting ammonia, but still they are developed animals, so they are having kidneys. And these are special kidneys called as organ of Bojanus. What does the kidneys are called as? Organ of Bojanus. Remember this, okay? Then next thing is about its nervous system. Very complicated nervous system this animal is having. It is a ganglionated nervous system, like we have studied previously in Arthropoda, previously in Annelida. But still it is little bit advanced. It is having 3 type of ganglions. It is having, in head region it is having cephalic ganglion. We will study it in details little bit later on. In visceral region it is having visceral ganglia, and in the foot region it is having pedal ganglia. So three different ganglia. Even its sense organs are very well developed. Molluscans are provided with little different sense organs rather than any other animal. It is having some sense organs like octopus is having that, sepia is having that, the shells are having those. So that sense organ is called as ospreidia. This ospreidia is basically check the purity of water, whether the water is pure or it is with some bad chemicals. These molluscans understand it with this special sense organ called as ospreidia. Now another thing, another sense organ they are having is stratocyst, which is for balancing in the water, so they can swim in the water and they can balance in the water. Reproduction is either external, either internal. Then development is also, in some time it is indirect development, sometime it is direct development. So these changes, these reproduction change according to the environment according to the particular animal. So we have gathered a lot of knowledge about mollusca. Now let us go and enlist all the characteristics of mollusca. So the first characteristic is soft-bodied animals. Second is organ system organization, generally bilaterally symmetrical but become asymmetric due to torsion. Diploblastic, true coelomate but hemocoelomate with body fluid hemocele, which is blue in color because of presence of hemocyanin. Correct. Now next one is body division, 3 divisions: foot, head and dorsal visceral mass. Next one is mental cavity secrete shell. The shell is either internal as in sepia, either external as in oysters, as in those shells, as in snail, or even entirely absent in octopus. Now next one is basically these animals feed on the organic matter. Okay, so they may be benthic animals which stay at the bottom of the ocean and do obtain their food which come down to the ocean, or even they can capture food. When we consider octopus is a carnivorous animal, it captures food. Now next one is digestive system. They are having complete digestive system, and some of them, that is gastropoda specifically, having U-shaped digestive system, mouth and anus lying side by side. Now one more thing I forgot to explain you. Now these animals are soft-bodied animals. So when they take food, when they are carnivorous, it is difficult for them to digest that food. Agree? So the food should be well chewed. So the chewing of the food, this work is done by a special organ called as radula. Now this radula is a circular organ with the teeth inside like this. So it can, when the food is coming in this, it can break the food, digest the food. Even very strong digestive enzymes, when they are having one digestive gland called as hepatopancreas, and which secrete very strong digestive enzymes. Then respiration either by gills. In all aquatic form, respiration is by gills, and the gills are called as tenidia. Remember this. Then even respiration can be done with pulmonary sac, and in case of snail stay in the terrestrial. It is a terrestrial animal. It stay on land, so it need to have pulmonary sac. Means any organ which can breathe in air. Next thing is circulatory system, open type of circulatory system with hemocyanin. And excretion, aminotellic with the organ of Bojanus. Remember this name. Kidneys are called as organ of Bojanus, and this is a favorite question for your MCQs. Then next one is nervous system. They are having well developed nervous system with ganglia, head ganglia called as cerebral ganglia, visceral called as visceral ganglia, and foot called as pedal ganglia. So about its sense organ, 2 sense organs. Remember, one is ospiridia, or ospiridium is single, and another is stratocyst. Stratocyst is for balancing, and this is for testing chemical nature of water. Then reproduction, sex is generally separate. Mostly the animals are unisexual. Fertilization external or internal. Development may be direct or indirect. And these are some Gochidium, Villiger are some famous larval stages of these molluscans. Okay, so this is all about phylum Mollusca. In next video we will meet with next phylum, that is phylum Echinodermata. Till then, take care. Goodbye.